Southern California, a cultural crossroad and international center for business, culture, and sports, where racers from around the globe have come to compete in a truly world-class event. From Pomona, California, the 1987 IFMAR 1/8 Scale World Championships. Brought to you by NMB Bearings, the choice of champions. And by Airtronics, the name for the finest in RC electronics. And by the Ranch Pit Shop, known worldwide for the best in high-performance RC equipment. There's truly an international and friendly spirit here this week, where this high-tech sport that delivers astonishing speed has attracted a huge field, all chasing after the world title. After a week of qualifying and racing, the best in the world have made it to the final showdown. Let's take a look at the facts and figures. Today, the 6th biannual 1/8 Scale On-Road World Championship. 119 entries from 21 different countries. Organizations racing today: ERFA from Europe, FEMCA from the Far East, and ROAR from the United States. Today's race, 1 hour long with 10 cars on the grid. Estimated total laps, 195 with a top speed of 60 miles per hour. And the championship circuit here in Pomona, 240 feet long, 80 feet wide, 13 turns. Estimated lap time, 17 seconds. That gives a scale speed of 480 miles per hour. With the race about to begin, let's take a look at the drivers who made it to the main event. And the Americans dominated. 9 out of 10 qualifiers are Americans at the top of the bracket. The fastest qualifying time, Gil Losi Jr. from the U.S. driving a Serpent with a Paris motor in 35 laps, turned in a time of 10 minutes and 12 seconds. Qualifying second, Ralph Burst Jr. from the U.S. Ralph driving at RC 500 with a Paris motor in 35 laps, turned in at 10:12:40. Rody Rome from Holland, the current world champion. Qualifying in the 3rd spot, driving a Serpent, turned in at 10:15:80. 4th, Tony Neisinger from the U.S. Tony turned in a time of 10:06:60 with an RC 500 Paris motor in 34 laps. Qualifying 5th, Barry Grossenbacher from the U.S. with an RC 500 Rossi engine, 34 laps, 10:05:50. Repeat Fusco from the U.S. driving an RC 500 O'Donnell motor, 34 laps, a time of 10:11:70. Qualifying 7th, Curtis Hustings from the U.S. Curtis with the RC 500 Nova Rossi, 34 laps, 10:17:30. Qualifying 8th, Ron Rossetti from the U.S. Ron with a Serpent Paris motor, 33 laps, 10:01:70. And qualifying 9th, Kevin Mercandanti from the U.S. with a Serpent, a Paris motor, 33 laps, turning in at 10:32:80. And finally, Butch Klober from the U.S., qualifying 10th with an RC 500 Paris motor, 34 laps, 10:11:50. From 119 entries, these are the fastest 10 drivers in the world. They're on the grid. Let's go to the start of the race.
10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. A beautiful start! And a perfect start. We're off and running. Rossi will take the point. Top qualifier will begin from the 1 car, and they're staying in their respective positions. Grossenbacher with the whole shot in the 5th position, moving the 3rd. Yeah, Grossenbacher moving on up. Rossetti over him. 1 full hour. Losi Jr., Ralph Burst Jr., Barry Grossenbacher, and in car number 3, Rody Rome, the reigning world champion. Down the front straightaway in front of you, cheer them out out there. Losi current lap 17:5, Burst 17:9, Grossenbacher 17:7. And moving up real good and real clean is Butch Klober now, car number 0. He's moved up to 6th place, starting from the back. Lead him through the twisting turns at the Ranch Pit Shop. Losi Jr. moving away from Ralph Burst Jr. Barry Grossenbacher challenging Burst. Barry Grossenbacher in a white number 5 car, challenging the 2nd place car, Ralph Burst Jr. Grossenbacher knocking on the door, he's upside down. stays with the pack. Moving into the third now, Rody Rome. 1, 2, and 3, just like they raced. In fourth place, Curtis Hussey Jr. In fifth place, Butch Clover all the way from fifth. Their leader into the hairpin and the carousel. Moving away from Ralph Birch and Rody Rome is Bill Wilkie Jr. Rosie staying at blistering pace, 17.7. Birch, 17.7. Rome, 17.9. Birch gained a little bit on that lap. Closing with a miscue in turn 2. As they start to spread out just a little bit. Rody Rome trying to put some pressure on Birch. Rossi got a straightaway over Birch. And he picked up some debris on the antenna that won't hurt the car. It shouldn't hurt the performance. It may make him a little bit nervous, but it's all right. And the debris is off now. Down the front straightaway. Black and white number 1 in first. In second, Ralph Birch in third, Rody Rome. And they continue a real blistering pace. In the back of the pack, the battle for fifth place raging between Ralph Butch Clover, Ricky Fusco, and Barry Grossenbacher. And Fusco putting on a charge. And Grossenbacher now putting a move on Fusco. Grossenbacher moving up. Car number 5. Rossi gets around Rossetti.
Qualifying for just 10 main event positions was highly competitive, especially with a total of 119 racers. All divided into heats according to their fastest times. The grid was set. The top 4 qualifiers are automatically placed into the main event. Through a series of heat races, drivers are bumped up to the quarters and semifinals. The quarterfinalists who advanced to the semis were Michael Salvin from West Germany, Albert Grob from Switzerland, Roger Sale from Switzerland, Maurizio Margarucci from Italy, Kevin Mercandante from the U.S., Hernan Matacoli from Argentina. And those advancing into the semifinals were all Americans. Barry Grossenbacher, Butch Clover, Repeat Fusco, Curtis Husting, Ron Rossetti, and Kevin Mercadante. And that's what led up to today's grid. Was it American racing skill or home track advantage?
And right behind in the second place car. The pitman grabs the car, put the fuel in, he's back out, right ahead of Birch, has trouble in the pit. Birch spins it out. He flames out. He flames out. Ralph Birch is mediocre now. Rear wheel came off. Car's still running. Oh, back on. He lost a lot of time on that stop. Oh, that's what he waited. Hot speed now, upside down, and the move up will be with Grossenbacher and Clover and Fusco. They're tied together on the string. Second place now. Car number 3, Rody Rome has moved into second. Rody Rome up to second place. The reigning world champion with the consistent line. And oh, the wheel comes off Birch's car again. Birch up in the back straightaway. Straightaway. Oh, nice big race of the wheel. Associated cars losing rear wheels from the quick changes. And Lucy has to weave his way around him. And Kneisinger and Rossetti's car is hurt. Rossetti's car is hurt as he comes into the pit. It's a 3-car crash. The track is clear. Oh, that could be the fate of the World Championships because of a quick change rear end spring. I wonder what they got. Oh, Grossenbacher! Grossenbacher flames out. Oh, the cream is really rising here. Lucy now being chased by Rody Rome, and that's the only contender. Third place is Butch Clover, car 0. Clover coming around the carousel turn about 6.
Earlier, we asked IFMAR President Ted Longshaw how IFMAR operates.
Well, it operates through, very briefly, 3 blocks. A Far Eastern block, an American block and a European block. And every driver has to be a member of a national association, and that national association has to be a member of one of those 3 blocks. There's just 3 votes for all of the worldwide problems, one from the American bloc, which includes South America, Brazil, Argentina, Venezuela, etc., Canada. The Far Eastern bloc includes Australia, Japan, Hong Kong, Thailand, etc., Singapore. And the European bloc, we've now got 17 member countries there, so that you can see that the drivers that are here, there's 21 countries come. It's a real international representative body of model car racing worldwide.
Clover and Fisco hits the sweeper. Down the back straightaway. Clover with the horsepower pulls out by about 2 feet. He overshoots the turn. Fisco takes over. Fisco on the inside. Oh, Burke's in trouble again. Something really wrong with Ralph Burke's car as he gets pulled sideways at the end of the straightaway. Nice to Jared Burke back out, but boy, what costly mechanical failures. Ralph Burke currently sitting in 9th position. Tony Ralph starting to pick up the pace a little bit on Losey Jr. Tony Rome, the fastest car on the track right now. Car number 8 looks to be wounded a little bit coming into the pit. Ron Rossetti currently running 10th. And Birch, once again, having real hard luck at the World Championship for the 3rd time in a row. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, the distance narrowing between Jerry Losey Jr. and the reigning world champion Rudy Rome. A straightaway separating them now. Rome is closing the gap. We're only 9 minutes into this race. We have 50 minutes to go. Tony Rome now giving up on some slower traffic. He is closing up. Rome 17.6, Losey and 18 flat. So Rome picked up 4/10 of a second on Losey on that last lap. He is really narrowing the margin. Oh yeah, he's going to catch him, Larry. There is no doubt about it. We have a long ways to go. It's a 1-hour race. It's for all the marbles. Ronnie Rome knows what that's like. 2 years ago, he won it in Japan. Losey has won the World Championships in off-road. He is the current champion. Rome will drive off-road. Rome up behind Losey. We're going to see a dice here in about the next lap, Larry. He's going to come right up behind him in this infield. This is where he's picking it all up. Rome driving like a man possessed. Car number 3 as he picks up the leader. He hits the disc and loses a little bit of ground to Losey. He got about 10 minutes down. 1-6. Losey enters through. Rome will take the lead. Your new leader from Holland out front. Car number 3 down the back straightaway. He has to fuel stop yet. And anything could happen in the pits, as you saw with Ralph Birch. They put the car down. The tire came off. After that, it was disaster. Roddy's not coming in yet. He likes that front spot. Losey with a full tank. Rome with an empty one. In the blue and orange number 6 car, the leader coming in for fuel now. The red Coca-Cola car, number 3, the reigning world champion. He gets the fuel gun in it, and they set it back out on the track. First coming in for fuel now. He comes out behind Losey. Losey takes the lead again. They hit the sweeper. They hit the back straightaway. It's Losey. Losey picking up some distance on that one. Rome's car didn't look like it horsepowered out of there like it was earlier. tough break for Rody Rome. That's going to put him out of contention. That's going to move car number 3, Repeat Fusco, into second place. Repeat Fusco into second place. And Rome is furious.
Earlier, Rody Rome told us what makes this type of racing exciting.
The part of driving these cars is you have to see what's happening, and it makes the reaction slower. So you see the car react, and then you react, and that makes it very exciting. You need to think always and be very concentrated on the car. You cannot lose your concentration for 1 minute because then the car is doing strange again. So you have to look with your eyes. You cannot feel anything. That is the difficult part of this racing.
Repeat Fusco into second place. And Rome is furious. Your leader, car number 1. Second place is now car number 6. Repeat Fusco. Third place is car number 9, Kevin Mercadante.
A young man of few words, Kevin Mercadante didn't expect to be in today's main event.
I was surprised this week by my making it into the final.
An excellent job for Kevin Mercadante in his first World Championship. Butch Clover, car 0 in 4th place on the same lap. You battle for 3rd on the back straightaway as they hit the hairpin. Clover and Mercadante coming across the timing tower up into turn 1. Mercadante, the inexperienced driver. Clover with a lot of pressure experience and a very hard charger. Butch Clover in the red, white, and blue number 0 was chasing Kevin Mercadante in 3rd place. Rome turns to 17.8 with a car that's not working the way he likes it. Not bad at all. Oh, Curtis Hussing dragging the front bumper. It must be coming off or something's coming loose. It's just a real handful for him in the 7th car.
After 15 minutes of racing, they've completed 49 laps. Your leader, the pole sitter, Gil Losi Jr. Starting 6th on the grid, Repeat Fusco in 2nd. In 3rd right now, who qualified 9th, Kevin Mercadante.
There's your leader, car number 1, Gil Losi Jr. I knew I was going to make that mistake sooner or later. Down the back stretch. He has been leading this race since it started. Car number 6, Fusco, is on the same lap with him, Larry, and he ain't that far behind. Yeah, Repeat's been making up some ground. He's been pushing that car real hard. That's one of the East Coast boys there, Repeat Fusco. Hussey in again. Rosenbacher back to 7th place now on car number 5. We're keeping our eye on the leader and the Fusco car. Car number 1 down the straightaway in 1st. The blue and orange car in 2nd, number 6. I think he is getting closer to Gil Losi. Pete Fusco, number 6. Maybe making a challenge for the World Championship. Oh, he is getting closer, Larry. Yeah, he's starting to move up. 2.7 seconds behind the leader. An update in 10th place out of the race. Car number 8, Ron Rossetti. 9th place out of the race. Car number 2, Ralph Bursch Jr. Still racing 7th place. Car number 5, Barry Grossenbacher. 6th place, car number 4, Tony Neisinger. 5th place, car number 3, Rody Rome. 4th place, car number 0, Butch Clover. 3rd place, car number 9, Kevin Mercadante. 2nd place, car number 6, Repeat Fusco. 1st place, Gil Losi Jr., car number 1. Well, Larry, I think Gary Keyes yelled up to Gil Jr. to put the hammer down because he was getting a challenge from Fusco, and it was a 2.7 differential. Now it's about 3 to 4 seconds. So Losi, being able to move the car at will,
Yeah, they're trying to save tires. They were talking a little bit before the race to each other about having to change tires, what if. And they are trying to save the tires, and hopefully they can, because that would be a long pit stop.
Rosenbach.
Oh, no. Rossi dies on the back straightaway.
Repeat Fusco takes the lead.
Repeat goes by. As he comes by the timing gates, he will take the lead. Car number 6, Repeat Fusco out front. Rossi will drop to second.
I'm not sure whether he flamed out. He may have flamed out. It's about the 20-minute mark, and it seems those serpent cars are sucking up the fuel.
He got started again.
A costly mistake. That's exactly what happened. He ran out of fuel. Oh, Clover with radio trouble over here at the end of the straightaway, and he's just...
Oh, and Butch Clover was running fourth.
In racing, to finish first you must finish. The fastest qualifier, Gil Losi Jr., told us his strategy before the race.
To win the World Championships today, we're going to have to drive slower, smoother, more consistent than we did in qualifying. We try to go as fast as we did in qualifying. We take a heavy risk of breaking our cars. And to win this race, since it's an hour long, you have to first finish it. So the strategy is to try to survive for the first half and win the race in the second half.
Still in third is Mercandante. Fourth place now, Rody Rome, but I think we're starting to see fuel stop. Things will start changing.
Here comes your leader in for fuel. They got the gun in it, and they send him back out. A great fuel stop. Losi gets back on the same lap with him, just ahead of him. I don't know if... I'm sure Gil is going to try and get around him. I'm sure he's just going to try and get away from him.
Yeah, they're on the same lap physically, but Gil is at the back of the lap.
Yep, he's got to get around. He can't let him go by. All Fusco's got to do is chase him.
Yeah, he just has to keep him in sight for a while. Of course, the pit stop will take care of a lot of that.
Number 9 car, Kevin Mercandante, is currently sitting in third place. Oh, third place is on his top. Is for Gil Losi Jr. to get back around behind Repeat Fusco, and Fusco is
Yeah. He's starting to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, he is. A little over 20 minutes down with about 38 minutes to go.
Yeah, Losi's starting to pull his way through traffic. Fusco pulling his way through traffic. And that's about the difference between them, although Losi's now in second instead of in first.
You know, this is not the first time we've seen one of those serpent cars from the Losi team have a fuel problem, Larry.
Yeah, their fuel mileage is hurting just a little bit, and the associated car of Repeat Fusco getting a little better mileage.
Ralph Hirsch back on the track. He says, I'm going to get in this darn thing anyway.
Home track advantage, Gil Losi Jr. told us earlier about the differences between the American and the European race circuits.
It's a very tight track compared to what the Europeans run on. It's got 13 turns where most of their tracks have 7 or 8. Our straightaway is about 230 feet to where the European tracks are usually about 300, 350 feet. Most of their turns are fairly broad on the inside. Ours are, very tight. So you have to keep up a very fast, very quick-paced rhythm on the track.
Losi is going to have to make probably a 1/3 more pit stop than Fusco, and that really eats up time, especially when you're 2 laps down. Rody Rome, the reigning world champion, still turning the fastest laps on the track, but the car is not working the way he wants it to, and he's way off the pace because he didn't flame out. The two hard luck drivers, car 3 and car 2, Birch and Rome out there just hoping that something happens. It's a long race. We're not even halfway through yet.
Rody Rome trying to get back up there in contention. He's only 2 laps down. He's got 30 minutes to do it in. Actually, a little better, about 33 minutes to do it in. He may do it, Chuck. I don't know. He's on the move.
Yeah, he is. Losey Jr. also on the move. A 17.8 that time for Losey. Let's see this one. This looks like a good lap. Oh, it was a 17.3 for Losey.
And when Rody crashed in the back straightaway, he was furious. 2 minutes later, he was on the track. I looked over his face. Looked like somebody shot him up with a tranquilizer. He looked fine. And he's back out there. He's real smooth. He's real calm. And he's just making up time. He has nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Birch out there turning in some blister laps with a 17.5 that time.
Birch is definitely going fast, but he's 55 laps off the lead pace.
Time do fly when you're in the pit.
Yeah. Repeat Fusco, your leader.
Car number 6, the blue and orange car with silver on the side. Repeat Fusco all the way from the East Coast. From the United States out there in front, a real dark horse, but didn't get much airtime. He had a miserable time qualifying. The car kept coming apart, but it looks like they got the welding torch out, and it's just solid as a rock. Losey Jr. in for fuel. Kais gets him back out. A little bit long, but he's back out there. Losey Jr. now starting to close on Pete Fusco.
Yeah, he's got to because he's almost 2 laps down. About 1.5. 1.5.
1.5 laps. Fusco now going into the timing tower, and here comes Losey across turn 1 and into 2.
30 minutes into the race, they've run 98 laps. Gil Losey Jr., the pole sitter, has dropped back to 2nd. Repeat Fusco is currently in 1st place, started 6th on the grid. In 3rd right now, Kevin Mercadante.
And Rody Rome has moved all the way up to 3rd. Incredible run by this driver from Holland. Here he comes in for Phil.
Here comes Mercadante to take 3rd place back.
They're on the same lap, by the way, Mercadante and Rody Rome. A world champion and basically a amateur.
A brand new kid on the block with tons of talent out there. And he's got tons of talent behind him working on that car for him. In the case of Gary Kais and the whole Ranch Pit Shop team.
10 years ago, it started right here at the Old Thorpe Raceway in Pomona. The first ever world champions of any scale, and it's come home 10 years later. And what a show we've seen today, actually all week. What a great turnout of drivers. 119 of the best drivers in the world, and almost every single one of them have deserved to get here. We saw it in the examples of their driving in the heat races and how they moved over for each other. They were very cordial, not getting mad, nobody getting upset. It's been a great week of racing.
The 9-car Mercadante upside down. Here comes Rome. Mercadante flames out. 3rd place, a good solid 3rd place now. Rody Rome moves himself into 3rd place, and he's going to catch Gil Losey.
Okay, they're about 2 laps apart from each other.
Rosenbacher flames out again.
And the leader upside down.
Oh,
he keeps rolling.
He hit the plow disc and he did a high flyer.
One more time, slow motion replay. Fusco exits the right-handed turn, clips the apex, but misjudges it, gets airborne off an inside disc there, and does a forward half roll. Upside down, slams into the barrier, and then rolls, spins back onto the racing surface. A wild crash for race leader repeated Fusco in his car number 6. Now, this type of extremely aggressive racing was not a part of his earlier heat race strategy. We spoke to Fusco before the race.
To make it to the main event, I had to drive conservatively and smooth and look out for other people and cars on the track.
Your leader is car number 6, repeat Fusco in the United States.
In
Second place, Gil Losey Jr. of the United States in car number 1. And third place from Holland in car number 3, Brody Rhodes.
Ralph Birch passes the leader quite casually.
Leader doing a 18.7 that time, Birch with a 17.9. And Losey trying to get on the lead lap. As he gets around Fusco, he'll be at the back of the lead lap.
He's really trying it, Larry. Check it out through the turns. Here they go. Fusco bearing down now. He's got to tighten up the turn.
So Losey really leaning on that Serpent car, chasing down the Associated car to get back just on the lead lap.
First and second place battle, a lap down. There goes Losey.
He doesn't quite do it.
Into the carousel turn.
He's knocking on the door, and Repeat keeps it closed.
Repeat says, no way, I ain't letting you around, pal. And Fusco pulls in.
Okay, Losey gets on the same lap. We'll see how long it takes Fusco and how much time Losey can make up by. Oh, what a stop.
Oh, Fusco in and out like lightning.
Who is that pit man? That's O'Donnell, the engine maker.
All right.
Is that guy human?
That's the quickest pit stop we've seen all week.
And he does it every time.
That was a 5-second pit stop.
I wonder if they're getting enough fuel.
Well, they don't care because Losey's got a pit lot more than them.
The leader is still Repeat Fusco out there running all by himself, and Losey in second. Car number 1, 3/4 of a lap down. Boy, Fusco's got some pit stops. If it comes down to pit stops, I'm afraid he's got that race won.
Yeah, Gary Kai's really got to take some practice.
Either that or hire O'Donnell.
Well, I tell you what, though, you know what the tail of the tape here is that Losey is back on the same lap with him, and that's really important. If he can make a lightning quick pit stop, that would really make a big difference. Losey with about a half a track disadvantage. Larry, I think if he can get in and out and stay on that same lap, that'll really be a big psychological plus for him. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be hard to do. Repeat is not letting up.
No.
And Repeat just turned a 17.9. He comes by with another 17.9. So Repeat is not letting up. Losey with a 17.5. He's gaining about a half a second per lap. There's a 10.8-second difference between first and second. And remember, though, the fuel mileage on both of these cars is quite different.
Yeah, but 10 seconds ought to be enough time for Losey to make the pit and get out and stay on that lap. 10.4, he's picking up a half a second a lap, Larry.
Yeah.
I'm just agreeing with you. that time. 10.1, excuse me. So Losi a little trouble in traffic.
Well, he's out of traffic now, and Repeat doesn't have really any traffic in front of him except Husty. Husty's way up there.
Back down to 8.8.
He gained a whole bunch of time on Fusco. And Fusco that time with a 17.9. Losi last time 17.4.
480 miles per hour, scale speed down the straightaways. A real 60 miles per hour. Spinning 40,000 RPMs with four-wheel drive and burning nitromethane. 1/8 scale racing abounds with technology. That's part of the attraction of this sport. All the principles of full-scale racing are found here. Aerodynamic shaping and composite materials with 6 different body styles at this year's championship. Intricate engineering with suspension, shock absorbers, and special gummy tire compounds. And as in all racing, modifying the engine to the limit. An important connection in this vicarious involvement with speed for the driver is the radio. The control transmitter operates steering, brakes, and throttle via receiver on the car. All this technology is quite recent in a sport that has spanned 50 years with racers from the past like these. Here's a car with dynamic suspension from the 60s. And these cars raced around tethers. And here's a 1940 McCoy and a 1987 Team Losi Serpent. From the fun of yesterday comes the speed of today.
In third place, Rody Rome has really been pushing that Serpent car. You got 40 minutes down, drivers. 20 to go. 20 minutes to go.
Your leader's in for fuel. Here goes Losi. Oh, another lightning fast pit stop. 9:18, the difference between first and second. And Losi.
Oh, Losi broke. Something went wrong with the Serpent car. It looks like it flamed out.
So it don't make no difference if you can catch a half a second a lap. You got to stay out there. And the only guy I think that stayed out there the whole time so far has been Pete Fusco. I think everybody else has had a problem. Losi's going to be back about 2.5 laps down. I'm afraid that's really going to ice it. Fusco's just got to stay out there, and the pace he's on, and he will be the 87 world champion. I'll guarantee you that. You can take it to the bank.
Well, you know, Chuck, it's still only about a lap and a half. Incredibly. He's 2 on the board, but as he comes under the timing gauge, it'll go back to 1. And in Fusco, so it's about a lap and 3/4. It's going to be technical. He's only about a lap and 3/4. Of course, he was on the same lap, so that's about, he lost about a lap.
Yeah, that's a real sad break for him, because it took him about 15 minutes to get that 1 lap back as it was.
Yeah, and the worst part about it, of course, we're running out of time. Had this happen early in the race, it's not as critical as late in the race. Late in the race, there's no time to make it up.
2 flameouts. Actually, the door that is starting to open now is the reigning world champion driving car number 3, maybe a threat to Gil Losi.
Yeah, he's about a lap and 1/4 off him.
The difference between first and second place right now is 28 seconds, and that's a lap and a half. Yeah, and if you just use your head real quick, a half a second a lap pace to pick it up, you're never going to make it. Grossenbacher out.
Barry Grossenbacher, yeah, pulling it off. And he was 7th when he pulled out, 7th place. And an update of how it's going. Car 0 is in 10th place. Car 9 is in 4th place. Car 8 is in 9th. Car 7 is in 6th. Your leader is car 6. Car 5 is in 7th. Car 4 is in 5th place. Car 3 is in 3rd place. Car 2 is in 8th place. And your leader is, and car 1 is, is in 2nd place. car seems to be working a lot better now than it was about 15 minutes ago.
He's probably just getting used to driving it now. You have to change your style and everything. Once you figure it out, you just have to go with the way it's going to go.
Yeah, it's really low to the ground. More so than the associated cars. Boy, repeat on the drive of his life, huh?
What a guy. Well, a repeat Fusco in the blue and orange number 6 associated racing car. Was the only O'Donnell OPS engine in the race. Car number 6 on the drive of his life for the World Championships of 1987.
Nervous time in Pomona, and anything can happen. Out of this hour race, we've completed 45 minutes, 146 laps. It's Fusco, Losi Jr. in Rome, and it's time for fuel.
Losi in for fuel, second place.
Leader in for fuel.
Rody Rome has gotten onto the same lap with Losi now.
We could see a race here for second place pretty soon between Rody Rome and Gil Losi Jr. The leader is almost out of reach for all intents and purposes, as long as the car keeps ready.
Because of the incredible international competition on this great circuit in Pomona, California, this year's World Championship title is not awarded, it's earned.
The level of competition at this event is the highest level of RC car racing in the world. That's why it's a World Championship. Everybody who is anybody is here racing for this title. Very prestigious title.
Rody Rome is on the same lap. He's coming down the back straightaway. Kais is working on the Losi car. Rome is into the hairpin. They throw fuel in it. Here comes Rody Rome, and Rome is going to take over second place.
And the driver from Holland has moved it all the way up to second after a bad crash. On the back straightaway, the car was wounded, the car flamed out. He pulled off the track. We thought we'd seen the last of him.
Oh, yeah, we thought he was history.
And he's back. So the driver from Holland, the world champion, will in the second.
A hobby with a humble beginning and an eye on the future, radio control racing has grown into an international sport which has spawned an industry of specialty engineering and manufacturing. One of the leaders in this business is the Ranch Pit Shop in Pomona, California, a distributor and manufacturer of aftermarket parts, engines, and components run by the Losi family. Gil Losi is managing director. Mario Losi handles the advertising. And Gil Jr. works in research and development. This multifaceted company that does it all hosted the first IFMAR World Championship in 1977 and today is proud to be the site of this year's World Championship at their great facility in Pomona, California. Whether it's designing equipment, retailing and exporting products, or holding over 100 races a year, it's the Ranch Pit Shop, setting trends known around the world.
So, little repeat Fusco in the blue and orange car, number 6, driving an associated car with Losi Fuel with an O'Donnell OPS engine, the only O'Donnell engine out there on the track, in first place.
Losi now trying to move up on Rody Rome. We could have a battle right here for second again. Losi closing at the gap. Just remember, if you happen to be in second and the leader breaks. Oh no, Rody Rome flames out again.
Flames out, and now Losi's going to go back on some battle. What a battle.
Oh, what a race. It's just, things are happening, and Losi's car seems to be broke.
Oh, he's got engine trouble.
No,
Oh, he's got console trouble. He's history.
It could be Kevin Mercandante in a few laps to move into second.
Oh, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, the car is wounded, definitely. He's coming in.
Kevin Mercandante in the 9 car has a potential chance at moving into possibly third, possibly even second place, as the Losi car and the Rome car are still in the pits.
Yeah, it's Mercandante. Next time he goes around, if Losi's not back on the track, Mercandante will take over third.
Here he comes. Car number 9 now into third place. One more lap, I believe, and he'll be in second place.
And Mercadante goes into third place. Car number 9, Kevin Mercadante of the United States, has moved into third.
He's into
Second place as Mercadante goes by.
Brody Rome is out of competition. Brody Rome is broken for good. And we still haven't seen the Losi car come out. Young Kevin Mercadante in the 9 car, the blue and yellow car, a relative new kid on the block. Only been racing those scale cars for 2 years. Out there in second place in a world championship.
Keep in mind, he has 6 laps down to repeat Fusco. 6 laps down in second place. The second place car in for fuel. The leader in for fuel. Tony Neisinger, car number 4, coming around. And he'll take third. Neisinger moves into third place.
They're going to try it again with the Losi car. Oh, it's in history. Yeah. Oh, they're going to have to do something. They got something wrong with the handling and the engine, I'm afraid, is a toast. Losi says, I'm packing it up.
9 minutes to go. 9 minutes, drivers.
9 minutes to go, and the golden door opens for young Kevin Mercadante in the 9 car.
Not only that, repeat Fusco.
There they are on the back straightaway into the hairpin.
A few years ago, that's about the only name you heard, but recently, you really haven't heard much about repeat Fusco. Here he is leading the world champion.
Yeah, his dad said he'd been laying back waiting for one, and this is the one.
Kevin Mercadante, 17-year-old senior out of San Bernardino, California, running second in his first ever world championship. This boy has a future.
What a great time for him. He must be just thrilled to death.
He started out at 12 scale with the so-called outlaws of RC racing out in San Bernardino, a little Friday night program where they make their own little rules and they keep changing the course and the bodies, and they run only stock motors. Every Friday night they get this big crowd out there of 12 scalers, and they just go out there and have fun. That's where Kevin started. And for a long time, he didn't want to race on the big circuit. He liked the little fun races, and they finally, after a couple years, talked him into coming out racing in competition with the fast guys, and all of a sudden he came to the Trinity Shootout and moved up into the A-main. They couldn't believe it. He just did really well.
Losi decides to come back in to save a little bit of face.
Mercadante, the closest car to the leader, 6 laps down. As the race unfolds with 7 minutes to go, and anything can still happen. We've seen it happen here in the last closing minutes.
Under the 7-minute mark, drivers, under the 7-minute mark.
Tony Neisinger, number 4, moving in the third, 2-time world champion in 12 scale, the only driver to repeat it back-to-back, the only driver repeated, period, in a world championship.
Neisinger actually deserves a lot of credit after a terrible crash early in the race to get the car back together and to get out there and into third place. Repeat Fusco with a 6-lap lead, ain't letting off a bit, Larry. He's just keeping the hammer down.
Yeah, he is. He's still in the low 18s, high 17s. Repeat just still pouring it on. He wants this world championship, as well any driver would. 6 minutes to go, drivers, 6 minutes.
Yeah, Losi car's still not shifting. I guess they're just going to go out there.
Curtis Husting, with all his troubles, he is in 4th right now, car number 7. Curtis Husting has moved up to 4th place.
leader coming in for fuel. Let's see if it's another lightning fast pit stop. Zip bang, and he's out. That could be his last one, but it's an odd time. It's just at the 5-minute mark, so boy.
I don't know. Oh, nice singer flamed out. Third place car flamed out. He's pretty safe because Husting is about 7 laps behind him in 4th place.
It's pretty well sewn up for Repeat Fusco, even if he flames out with about a minute left in the deal. I just don't think Kevin Mercandani can crank in 6 laps.
Well, Husting flamed out. Boy, the attrition rate is really high here this afternoon. Here comes Rossetti back in the pits.
Moshi could catch Husting for Ford.
Getting a little quiet. But to finish first you have to finish.
Moshi 2 laps back from Husting.
4 minutes, drivers. 4 minutes to go.
Husting trying to get out on the track. He hasn't started it up yet. It won't start. Here comes Moshi to get to 1 lap. Here he comes. He's going to be on the same lap with Husting right now. Husting back. Oh, a wheel stand. That hits on the dot, and I'm not sure it's working or not. We'll have to see.
Well, they're on the same lap physically, so could see a race here for 4th place in the closing minutes.
Oh, you can just hear that Losi engine just twisting its guts out down there at the end of the straightaway.
Go. 3 minutes to go in this 1987 World Championship. Repeat Fusco doing a beautiful job.
Under 3 minutes, drivers, under 3 minutes. Boy, I'll tell you what, if you want to get a guy's pulse rate right now, little Repeat Fusco, he's out there going, please don't nothing fall off of this car.
The car, do your stuff. Going down the back straightaway, coming around the hairpin, around the carousel, still with a tight line.
He could just about park it from this point and still end up the winner. He's got a 6 or a 7 lap lead on Mercandante.
We got 2 minutes to go, 2 minutes. Mercandante hanging on to 2nd place. Boy, what a drive it's been for him, coming from the quarterfinals all the way up to 2nd place in the World Final.
So this will ice it up here. 1 more lap for Repeat Fusco. One minute, 30 seconds left, drivers, and Repeat Fusco driving a blue and the orange number 6 car. Looks like he will be the reigning 1987 World Champion. I don't think there's any way for Kevin Mercandani to catch him, even if Pete pulls into the pits right now.
1 minute to go. 1 minute, drivers.
All right, let's cheer him as he comes around there. It's iced up, ladies and gentlemen.
He slowed down a little bit at 19.4 for Fusco.
Give him a hand out there, both of them, Fusco and Mercandante.
Neisinger coming back from a real bad crash. They got 40 seconds to go. They'll make a few more laps. The crowd chanting, repeat, repeat.
I don't want to do another hour.
20 seconds, yeah. For another week. 15 seconds. Repeat coming around for one more final lap. We'll go through the timing bridges. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1987 World Champion, car number 6 from the United States, Repeat Fusco. That's it. It's over. He's won it. What a drive. Let's hear it for him.
Everyone made it very difficult. I want to congratulate everyone else on just a great show, you know. It's just a shame that one person has to win and not everyone here, because everybody's great.
What was the key element that you felt contributed to your victory here today?
Rich Lee and Steve O'Donnell, they put the car together, and the motor they put together was flawless. It worked 60 minutes well.
What was the biggest thing that made you win, your mental concentration or your physical skills to be able to just drive?
Again, Rich and Steve, and if the car works, it makes things a lot easier for the driver. Those guys have to take all the credit because they're the ones that really allowed me to win with the vehicle they supplied me.
After a week of great racing, the Americans rise to the occasion. Repeat Fusco from Brooklyn, New York becomes the new world champion, followed by 4 Californians, Kevin Mercadante, Tony Neisinger, Gil Losi Jr., and Curtis Husting. Special mention in 6, Rody Rome from Holland relinquishes the world crown. This has been the 1987 IFMAR World Championship. Brought to you by NMB Bearings, the choice of champions. And by Airtronics, the name for the finest in RC electronics. And by the Ranch Pit Shop, known worldwide for the best in high-performance RC equipment. A special thanks to our trackside announcers, Larry Stancliffe and Chuck August. This has been David Stanfield for Callan Communications.